And so I started doing all of this research, and everything I read about him was just these sort of sensationalist catalogs of horrors, and really focused very specifically on what Ed did, and nobody was really tasking themselves with what Ian and Ryan were questioning and why he did what he did. And it just became impossibly dark. I must be honest, I felt like I made a horrible mistake in saying yes to this. And then I was able to find the transcript, because Ed was institutionalized for 30 years after he got arrested, and would do these quarterly or biannual reviews, and there's transcripts of all of those reviews, and then getting to actually read from his perspective what had happened and how remorseful he was once he got the proper medication and got his brain right. He realized truly what he had done and spent 30 years sort of in harrowing remorse. And so that was really the turning point, was when I started to feel really protective over him and start to understand him. And then what was the original question? Oh yeah, protecting myself. Yeah, I mean, go home and try it. It's interesting. I suppose the stock answer I have for this is that when the work feels good, I'm sure a lot of us are actors and artists in this room. I say, there's nothing darker than being on a half-hour TV show if the jokes aren't funny. Like, if the process is different from the subject matter, and the process, because primarily of Max, but because of all of these beautiful, soulful people, was just sort of kind, and we were trying to do something, stretch ourselves and do something as good as our skill sets would allow us to do. And so there was a satisfaction of the everyday of sort of managing to climb the mountain.
Well, it feels like empathy is baked into every moment, even though
none of it works if you don't care about the guy that you're following. And there's so much humanity to Charlie's performance, that the transitions and all the bells and whistles and the cool shit that we did with the camera, which is cool, it means nothing if by the end you don't want to spend time with this guy. And it is so operatic structurally and dramaturgically, but it's very small at the
scariest thing is us. And I think that Ed is a strange sort of like test subject on that. And he himself was obsessed with it. He could not